Coffee chat time. How you doing this morning, guys? Just bringing up the questions, if there was any. Give me a tick. I'm in the wrong spot. There we go. Hopefully some of you join me live. If not, I'll hang around for about 5 minutes and then I'll skedaddle because I've got the little man here and I don't want him spending all day in front of the TV like he has been while I try and get work done. Hey, Poss. Good news is I'm going to answer your question first. Let's have a look. Where is that question? There. Hope you're having a good week off, Poss. Alright, so good morning, Chris. While I'm at home, I've been having fruit juices that I blend myself, assorted berries, watermelon, etc. Probably a couple of glasses through the morning and a couple of pieces of fruit till lunch. Is this a good breakfast? Sure. Like, it's whole foods, it's going to be perfect. Looking at like the optimal scale, like you go from pizza and all that crap, like cereals. Go from cereals, for using breakfast as an analogy. Cereals aren't the most optimal brekkie you can have, except unless you're having oats. Most other cereals are just basically junk food in a packet. So if you're going from cereal to super optimal, which is like actually having meat and veg like you would any other normal meal, that's optimal. Moving away from cereal or moving towards optimal is all good in my book, as long as your heck is in check. So it always comes back to your heck check, and do it. Do your juices, do your smoothies, whatever it is, as long as it's just fruit and you're not adding other stuff in it, like you said. And fruit for snacks is fine, as long as you feel like your heck's in check and you're getting the results you're after. That's the most important thing. So I reckon everything's fair game as long as your hunger's in check. So you're not feeling hungry. Using a 1 to 10 scale, your hunger levels need to be 1 to 5 or less. Anything over 5, like you're starting to increase your hunger. That's when we start looking at it. Like 5 to 7 is the yellow zone where we're going to start being cautious. And then anything over 7 hunger rating is we need to change something straight away, because there's going to be something happening down the road where you're going to binge or whatever. Something's going to make you eat a lot of food because your hunger's through the roof. Energy levels. You want 1 to 10 scale rating. So if your energy is really high, so it's the reverse. So if you're like, I got 8 out of 10, I feel amazing, that's good. Anything below a 5 out of 10, we need to start looking at the food options and start tweaking it from there. And then looking at the hunger, energy, cravings. Cravings, I had dumb brain there. So for cravings, you want to be doing the same scale as their hunger one. So 1 to 10, 1 to 5 in cravings is good. That's a happy zone. You can live in that zone. If you've got a little bit of cravings, but it's like a scale, like it's about a 3 out of 10. It's not that bad. But if you start getting to like a 7, 8, 9, and 10 out of 10 cravings, then we need to change something. So if you're having your juice and then like an hour or two later you're craving something and you need to have more fruit, then the juice needs to change to a better alternative. And the first point of call would be is to try and add protein to it. So turn the juice into a smoothie. Have your berries, have your watermelon, get a vanilla protein powder and add it into the juice. Or have an egg with your juice. Something that to slow the absorption down of the carbs so you don't get that massive spike and drop, which makes you crave and hunger levels go crazy. But protein is just satiating. It makes you feel full. And like even an egg with your juice is nearly perfect, like a boiled egg, because it's got good fats and good protein, and it might be just enough to curb that hunger cravings if you're getting it between your fruits. Hope that answers your question. Hey, Sarah. I did a post today about... I'll talk about the post yesterday, actually. Scale weight. So I mentioned that, especially for women, comparing week to week or day to day is really just a dangerous prospect. And that's why you hear a lot of people say, just don't ever weigh yourself because it's going to pull your head out of the game. I don't really agree with that because people are going to do it anyway. So it's better to have tools in place. Just instead of saying just no, have tools in place so you know how to deal with the emotion of what's going to come up with what you see on the scale. So always compare to the global picture. So if you're going to do the scale weight, compare the last 4 weeks of weigh-ins. If you haven't got 4 weeks, compare last 3, compare last 2, but never compare week to week because you might bump up 500 grams, but you're still down 3 kilos over a 4-week span, which is about, like I said in the post, about 0.8 of a kilo loss per week, which is that perfect range. It's 0.5 to 2 kilos loss. If you're in that range, you can manage it long term and you're not going to have a massive falling off the wagon or anything. So always get the average. So if you got enough data, say like at least 4 weeks, add them all together, divide by 4, and you'll get the average across the 4. And that's what you want to look at. Are you still losing? And then you can just compare. The other version is comparing based on the natural body cycle. Everybody goes through a cycle. Like some women don't have like a show, so to speak. Like it doesn't, not like spotting, or they don't have a menstrual cycle or whatever. But the body still goes through like a circadian or cycle where you're going to retain lots of water and then lose lots of water. Retain lots of water and lose lots of water. And it's like a high stress part of the month to a lower stress part of the month. There's a certain time of the month when you crave a lot of foods, and there's another time of the month where you don't. So it goes in cycles all the time. And in that cycle, you're going to retain water and put on weight as the cycle goes around. So the best way to do it is compare, say, like your week 5 weigh-in to week 1, week 6 to week 2, week 7 to week 3, and week 8 to week 4, and then repeat on from that. So you'll end up going... The comparisons will be week 1 to week 5 to week 9, and then so on. So you add 4 every time. Yeah, maths is right. So same with week 2. So week 2 to week 6 to week 10, week 3 to week 7 to week 11, and so on. So you're always comparing in 4-week blocks. And if you're losing in those 4-week blocks, like week 1 to week 5, you've lost weight. Week 5 to week 9, you lost weight, the program's working. Like whatever you're doing is working, and don't change it. It's kind of hard because you got to play the bigger game. But once you've got at least 4 weeks of data, then you can start comparing week to week, sort of that week 6 to week 2, and you compare every time from then. But that first 4 weeks is like that kind of break-in phase where it's going to be a bit more challenging. But doing that will go with the cycle better. And I actually started doing that with my weight as well. And my weight fluctuates up over the month and comes back down. So males, well, I do go through some kind of weird water retention cycle as well. So it's kind of normal. That's the best way to do body weight. There's 2 apps that you can use. It's called Happy Scale for iPhone and Libra Scale for Android. And what they do is it smooths the process over. So you weigh in basically every day, at least 3 times a week. But what I weighed in every day. And you put your data in, and all it shows you is your trend, like the rolling average. So it doesn't show you what your weigh-in was for the day compared to the next day. It shows you the trend of where your rolling average is going. So it actually smooths the data out and it shows you the real term weight loss you're having. So it's really good for mentality-wise. Like you do your weigh-in very early in the morning, put your number in, and it shows you the actual score you will have, like if you had to score. And it just shows you that only. In the term of Happy Scale, it gives you milestones. So as you tick off milestones as you go, it gives you like a high five, you hit another milestone, let's get to the next step. So you can chunk like the journey down instead of going, I've got to get from 100 kilos to 80 kilos. You can chunk it down into 20 steps. And you got to go from 100 kilos to 90 kilos, and then 90 kilos to 100 kilos to 99 kilos, and drop it down every time. And every time you hit the milestone, it tells you you're progressing through the challenge. So it's actually a really cool method for keeping on track. It's just another app. So if you want to play around with that app, you can. But yeah, if you want to weigh yourself more often than once a week, I would highly recommend getting one of those apps to do it. Today's post... If you got questions, remember, throw them in the comments because I'll answer any questions you got. I'm just rambling at the moment. Today's post was about, can you get results with just walking? So there's a lot of research that's come out just recently about NEAT, so non-essential activity thermogenesis. So just your daily activity, like non-exercise. So not in the gym, not running, not bike riding, etc. It's just daily activity, daily movement. And it literally is, like I said in the post, if you haven't read it, your daily activity accounts for 10% to 50% extra calorie burn in the day. So you get your base metabolic needs from whatever your calorie burn will be if you just laid in bed all day. And then when you get up and move around, that's addition. So that's daily activity, non-exercise activity, and it adds up. So the more you walk, the more you do activity. Like, this is where that whole thing, like, my partner is a labourer or is a chippy or whatever it is, always seems to be lean. He's always lean, can eat whatever he likes, he's always lean. That's because he has an extremely active job, always moving, and his calorie burn is 10 to 50% higher than someone who's got a sedentary job. So that's why, like, with Kat and I, my activity burn throughout the day, because I do daily activity, moving around the house, all that kind of stuff. In the gym, I was always helping people with exercises, so I'm always on the move. So my daily burn was huge. It was like 3,000 and 4,000 a day when the gym was open. While Kat's was like maybe 1,800 because she was stuck in the office. So her daily activity is really low, mine's really high. So that's why with walking, you can get a lot of results with just walking, because it will account for 10 to 50% extra calorie burn in a day. So if you, for lack of a better example, say your daily minimum calorie burn is 2,000 calories without doing anything, just lying in bed. Getting up and getting 8,000 steps a day will allow you to get either another 200 calories to 1,000 calories extra burn in a day, and it's really easy. It's not intense. Anyone can do it. It actually works really well for fat loss. So when it comes to fat loss, that is the most important thing, your daily activity. Strength training only accounts for 10% of your calorie burn. So if you're doing strength training to get your result, you're basically overworking the system to try and counteract the fact that you're probably eating too much. So in case of the 10%, 2,000 calories is what you get when you're just lying in bed. 10% is 200 calories. So you're only really this is like a raw, like rough scenario. It's only going to be around 200 calories extra burn a day, which is, for me, it's a cup of Greek yogurt. That's all it is. That's all the extra burn is, versus, say, if I wanted to, 5 cups of Greek yogurt. So that's the difference between how training works for fat loss versus how walking and daily activity works for fat loss. So that's why I always talk about get your steps in, 10-minute power walks, increase the distance every time you go out for 10 minutes. Daily activity, if you said you've done heaps of farm work, Lucy's really good for this. She says she's just done heaps of farm work. That is awesome, because it's so much better for fat loss, and it's low intensity. You can do it all day, every day, and get a lot of results from that, as long as you match your food to your movement, which is what always part 2 of the Move, Eat, Re-Energize is. Whatever movement you get, you match your food to it, you'll get results. If you try and increase your movement to overcome a pretty average nutrition plan, it's going to catch up to you in the end. You're going to run out of room to get more movement in, or you'll just burn out trying to chase that extra movement part. I've done it heaps of times. For a lot of times I've said, I just want to eat as much as I like, so I'm going to train so I can eat whatever I want. And it never works out in the long run. I either get an injury or I just burn out from training too hard. So this new plan I'm doing is basically what I'm going to try and do long term. Facebook tell me there is no sound. Lol. No sound? I think everyone else can hear me, all right? All right, going back to the other one. Is the sound working for everyone? Turn your volume up, Hamish. Or turn your phone off mute. Sometimes that works. Can you explain the pirate map plan is? All right, pirate maps are follow this plan to get to the treasure. And the treasure is whatever goal you want. So you base technology, hey Hamish. You're the youngest person here and you struggle with the technology. It's pretty funny. So the pirate map is basically follow this plan every day to get the goal. So for the example of fat loss, a simple pirate map plan would be 8,000 steps or more every day. The more the better. Once you get past 10,000 steps, there's no health benefit to it. There's a calorie burn benefit, but there's no more health benefit past 10,000. So once you get to 10,000, that's enough. If you're getting your 10,000 steps, you're good. Then start sprinkling in strength training. 2 15-minute strength sessions a week is enough. So you do pirate maps as like minimal effective dose. Like any pirate map to a treasure, follow this path, which is the most direct path, generally, to get the treasure. So that's what you do with the pirate map. The minimal effective dose for you to show up and do every day so you'll get your goal. So you do fat loss 1, 8,000 steps plus, 2 15-minute workouts a week, or just 30 minutes total. So you can chunk that down to 5 minutes a day, and that still gives you that 30 minutes a week of strength training, which is enough to keep muscle tone and keep your body strong, so you'll live a better life as you get older. And then after that, it's food. Food is the key. So the Pirate Map for food is match your food to your movement. So my general rule of thumb is like protein every meal, veggies at every meal. So palms of protein every meal, 1 to 2. 2 to 3 fists of veggies at every meal, 1 to 2 thumbs of fat, and only add carbs in. Like add fruit when you feel like it. Fruit whenever you feel like it. But like carbs like potato, rice, cereals, breads, all that kind of stuff. 1 cupped hand. So if you're using a cupped hand analogy, 1 cupped hand for every 30 minutes of intense training. That is it. So that's the only way to do it for fat loss. So if you can put intense training, because generally you only need carbs to fuel your intense training. Glycogen's there for you to fuel intense activity, which was for back in the primal days, paleo days, was escaping a lion or chasing down food or whatever it was. You need the glycogen there for that short, sharp, big burst of efforts. But we only need it if we're spending over 30 minutes in that higher intensity zone. So if you're not getting that high intensity stuff, which strength training is not included in this high intensity zone, this is like actual really kind of intense training, you add carbs in. But that is a tough Pirate Map to follow, but it is the most direct path to get the goal. So that's why we blend and play around with things by adding, just hitting a calorie ceiling, whatever it is. Pirate Maps have to be done to the person. There's no standard Pirate Map everyone can follow, because not everyone can do the diet I just said, because it's too hard. There's too much going on in life. So I need to talk to you one-on-one to build a Pirate Map for you. And Liz, I can do that for you. But basically, yeah. So you got your movement part and you got your food part, which is to match your food to your movement based on what you can do right now. And then re-energizing, because all fat loss goals come when you are in least amount of stress. So bringing your stress levels down, recovering from training if you are doing it, and making sure you get good sleep. Good sleep equals fat loss. So if you want to get really effortless fat loss, get more sleep, like 10 hours sleep. If you can't do that, then we focus on just bringing stress down in general. And that's how the Pirate Map works. And it's different for someone who's like, say, Hamish, who wants to put on muscle. His will be totally different. He has to train to put on muscle and has to eat more food. For me, for obstacle race training, it's different again. My Pirate Map has a daily run or incline walk on the treadie to get the volume up in the legs for obstacle racing, and daily strength training or daily hanging, stuff like that. So it's always based around the goal, because the goal is the treasure. Wherever you are now is the start point of the map. Point A, goal is point B. How are we going to get there with the least amount of effort? And that's what a Pirate Map is. Yeah, Liz, it is always food. Fat loss is always food. Generally in the sense that it's food not matched to movement. It's not that people eat bad, they're just not matching it to the movement. Someone could eat super healthy and still be putting on weight because they're not matching it to the movement. I'm just going back up, see if I missed a question. Can you explain the Pirate Map? Done that. Sounds working, yes. I think I've got everyone's questions. If you've got more questions, throw them in. There's a few of you still watching. The more questions you guys do, I'll do more posts on Facebook about them on my personal page. So I'll do a post about what is a Pirate Map tomorrow. If you want to read more into them too, check out Google Dan John, DANJOHN, and Pirate Maps, and Pat Flynn and Pirate Maps. There's 2 famous Pat Flynns. One's a marketing guru. You don't want that guy. You want the training one. He thought up the idea of Pirate Maps, and he's got a really cool minimum effective dose Pirate Map for everybody. So if you can follow that, every day, it's very straightforward. The only thing is just you got to follow it every day. So my Pirate Map, I try and chunk it out and get it all done before midday. So the faster hit the desk. The faster you get the Pirate Map done, the better, because the idea of Pirate Maps is no variety. Follow the plan, get the goal. You can get variety outside of that, so the minimal effective dose is good, and then you can add the variety. What's a good way to get out of down rut? I like not feeling up to working out. Reduce the barrier to get the workout in. So you could be looking at it like, I can't be asked doing a 30-minute workout. Do 5 minutes. The most important thing is that you show up. The showing up part is the consistency part. The duration is important. It depends on the goal. But in case of you, Hamish, you can still get a strength, like a muscle building workout in 5 minutes with just 2 movements, and then focus on your food and go about the rest of your day. So my rule of thumb, especially at home and online, is different to in person. You outsource motivation in person. So if you're showing up to a class, your motivation's taken care of. You just got to get there and everything's done for you. You're there for an hour anyway. Doesn't matter. At home, it's different. You have to chunk the duration down to what you are 90% confident you can do every day. So all the online clients I've got, I ask the same question. There's a few of you who have done an online coaching with me before. What are you 90% confident you can do for the next week? And that's the most important thing. You can always do more, but what are you 90% confident you can do right now? And it's not what you think you want people to hear. It's more about what can you actually do. So don't say something like, I can do 30 minutes a day every day for the week. I would say 90% of people would not do that. You could say, I'll do 5 minutes a day every day of the week. And I reckon 90% of people could do that, depending on what it is. It's very rare for someone to be able to do an hour every day, no matter what. At the moment, I am doing the 45 minutes twice a day, but literally one of them is nearly just a walk outside with the kids. I'll go for a walk with them up around the back for 45 minutes playing in the bushes. It's a little park we've got up there. So that acts as one of my workouts because I have to have one really low intensity one. So even then, most days, the only reason I'm doing it is because I put a challenge out there and I'm working the challenge for 75 days. Once that's over, I'll probably go back to one session a day, depending on how I manage it. This is day 25 and it's feeling okay, but it's been really hard to get those 245s in motivation-wise. I just don't want to do them at the moment with all the other stuff going on. Hence why I did the challenge, to make myself do it. So one is be accountable to someone, show up to someone. That's the easiest way for motivation. You don't use it. You just got to show up. So that's why we do the online SGTs, because people needed to show up at a time to do the session and zoom in, and then they do the session live while I'm telling them what to do through the camera. And then the other one is chunking it down, make it easier. Make it easier to show up. The easier it is to show up, the more chances you're going to do it. So my rule of thumb is always to do the live WODs for you guys as a minimum in the morning. I'm meant to do 45 minutes, including that afterwards, so maybe about another 30 minutes. But I'll always know I've got to do the live WOD because I'm accountable to you guys. So that's my accountability part. So Hamish, what you can do, because you know that I do the live WOD at 8 o'clock every morning, show up live and I'll add you into the live video and you got to do it at the same time. It's the easiest way you can show up and do something straight away. Or set challenges with your friends. Say, I'm going to do a workout this time, you got to do the same thing, we're going to message each other how we went. Stuff like that. Accountability buddies, leaning off other people is a really good way of doing it. Rangy Tantanti. Keep throwing questions at me if you got any. I've got to bail in about 5 minutes for another phone call. If you want to do the SGT sessions online, let me know. They're working super well. People are enjoying them. Elle started doing them. Trisha's doing them. Beth's doing them. Arthur's doing them, and he's 65. If he can figure out how to do them, you guys can figure out how to do them. Liz and Kath have been doing them for about 4 or 5 weeks now. Tally and Justine are doing them. They just like the fact that they have to show up. You can't do it by themselves because there's other stuff going on with work and all that kind of stuff. They are showing up just to be accountable to showing up to a certain time, and they know they're going to get at least 2 30-minute workouts in a week. So it's still an hour a week. And then the rest can be all about walks and steps and activity. So if you want to do it, let me know in the comments. $35 a week gives you the 2 30-minute sessions, so it gives you an hour. So you can join into that whenever you want to do it. They are awesome, and yes, it makes you accountable. Yeah, Liz is smashing it out. On the gym side of things, still no one has any idea. The Queensland's opening up in June. Northern Territory's open gyms up already. WA, I think, is in June. South Australia's in June. Victoria is potentially June, is the idea. I'm guessing it's going to be late June because they're slow to doing everything. And New South Wales is kind of open to interpretation, really. No one really knows. Our training space will be dependent on what Lone Dog does. So if and what the restrictions are per facility. So if it's 20 per facility, Lone Dog will have their sessions. We won't be able to do ours. I'll keep mentioning this, but I just don't want anyone to get their hopes up. Like, the gyms are open, yay! We can go back in, but we might not be able to go back in straight away. So I'm looking at other alternatives, which I'll tell you as things progress, to make sure we can, once things open up, we can start straight away, which I'm hoping will be able to happen. See you, Liz. Yeah, so once that happens, yeah, we'll see. I just got wind of like Ireland and England and stuff like that. So they got smashed way harder than what we did. But their gyms, especially in Ireland, their gyms aren't opening up until August. So I'm thinking maybe June, July for us. But yeah, their gyms are August, depending on how infection rates go. It could extend out longer. So they're in a lot bigger trouble than what we are here. So I'm never going to complain about anything that's happening here. And yeah, then in America's all over the shop. Who knows when America's opening up, their infection rate's insane. So who knows what's going on? A lot of gyms are just refusing to open over there because they can't make money. And keep the doors open because if you only got 3 people and you got a massive facility, it's too hard. So it's going to be a juggling act, as it is for everyone. So I'll keep you posted as things happen. But yeah, I'm starting off. Got to get ready for the next call. Thanks for the coffee chat today. It was really good. I rambled a fair bit. I didn't even drink my coffee. It's gone cold. Like my cup. Goes in my eyes. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know. Like, if you guys need help with anything, training, food, whatever, just throw questions in the group and I'll get to them. Tag me in the posts because I float in and out of Facebook because I don't want to spend too much time in there when the kids are home, like they always say. So yeah, tag me in posts and I'll make sure I get them. Alright guys, see ya.